Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 p.m. and time to begin our Planning Commission for November. If you'll please join me in prayers by standing and stay standing for the flag salute led by Commissioner Hatley. Dear Lord, we come before you tonight humbly requesting your blessing and your guidance as we go into the business of the city. Lord, in this very important time, we would ask that you would lay your protective hand on our military, first responders, as they guard us throughout the world, men and women of our military in these dangerous times, Lord. Please give us, our leaders of our nation, of our state, of our county, the wisdom that they would need to see that we all can live a productive life. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Chairman Taylor?
Here.
Commissioner Davis? Commissioner Hatley?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here.
Item 1 is the approval of the minutes of September 21st, 2015.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes. Number 2 is the visitors section. If there's someone here that'd like to address the commission about a non-agenda item, this would be the time to do so. Seeing none, we will proceed. Before we begin, I need to inform everyone here that since there are just 3 of us in attendance tonight, that it would take all 3 yes votes to pass any one item. We cannot have a single no vote because we are a 5-member commission, and we have 1 space vacant and 1 person absent. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can ask us to withdraw it or to table it to another time. Is that correct, Mr. Attorney?
That is correct, Chairman Taylor.
Proceeding on, item 3, to hear a request by GBT Realty Corporation for a curb cut on the property located at the southwest corner of Northwest 10th and Check Hall Road. Is there someone here for that?
Good afternoon, George Marquez with Craft and Toll, representing the applicant.
Okay. Can you tell us what this is for and where it's actually going to be located?
This is in the southwest corner of Northwest 10th and Check Hall, and it is for retail development. And we've been working with staff and city engineer with regards to water line relocation and traffic signalization at Northwest 10th. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
That's just past I-40, coming from
Yes.
Cornwall, going toward Cart Bricks, right? And isn't there already a curb?
Yes.
cut there?
Around.
And you're gonna get rid of that curb cut? Put another one in?
Yeah, it's going to be located near the existing curb cut. I mean, we're almost replacing it. That's what we're doing. So,
What about that private residence that's still on there? Is that piece of ground cut out? Isn't there a home still back in there?
that's part of this property. If you're talking about the property that's in the northwest corner, yeah, where I believe there's a couple of buildings in that northwest corner of the property that are vacant.
Okay. Commissioner Baker, you have anything?
No, I've been down there and looked at it.
Okay, would someone care to read the staff report or the proposal?
I'll do this one.
Okay.
In the case of the request by GBT Realty Corporation to install a new curb cut along Northwest 10th Street. The location is indicated on the submitted exhibit. In conjunction with the development of the market at Check Hall, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all plans and attachments cited in the staff report. I move that this item be approved with the following conditions. Condition 1, GBT ensure that items 1 through 7 of this staff report, as outlined by the city engineer, be completed in a timely manner as specified by the city engineer. Condition 2, GBT execute items 8, 9, and 10 of this staff report in a timely manner as specified by the Development Service Director.
We have a second.
Second?
Is there any questions, or do you understand the motion, sir?
Yes, we accept all. So, and we're currently still working with Mitchell on some of those items. So.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any comments on this? Call the roll, please, Kathy.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Wow. Everybody's leaving.
Everybody. Item 4, to hear a request by David Rhodes for a deviation of the planned unit development design statement for the Commons. It's a tract of land situated in the southeast quarter of Section 30, Township 12 North, Range 5 west of the Indian Meridian. The Commons is a group of buildings and business buildings that is to the west of the hospital and shopping area. I'm not going to read the rest of this legal. Is that satisfactory, sir?
That sounds good, Chairman.
All right.
Good evening.
State your name and
This is David Rhodes, representing the Commons. And the basic reason that we are requesting this change is in the recent attempt to start a new building, there was some design aspects that did not fit within the original PUD language, mostly architectural aspects for the exteriors. And so that we didn't, it was not our desire to create a cookie cutter looking development. Wanted to be able to add some architectural elements, architectural roof vents or dormers, which are, those aspects are on other buildings in that general area. However, there was some wording that kept us from being able to do the same thing, and just trying to have a current looking development that's not stuck in a time warp somewhere in the past. So just to move with current trends.
so would you be adjusting in the current buildings or just the new building?
Just the new building that's under construction right now and going forward. And the other aspect that we are investigating, if all the cards play out right, is being able to add additional parking as we continue to grow out there. And the success of our tenants has shown that additional parking is going to be needed. And so we've attached some drawings where we propose to add parking in the future so that we can accommodate that.
Mitchell, is the staff satisfied with the new language?
Yes, we are.
Okay. You have anything?
Well, so right now we're not certain, what these new criteria are going to be, or because it says here you have to bring them before the director later.
As far as for the
The architectural.
architectural, the building that's currently in process is represented in the drawing that's attached, showing the dormers and also additional wainscoting with rock features across the front of the building.
You have anything, Commissioner Baker?
So, I just want to be clear on what we're voting on, because it's a little convoluted. We're voting that an unspecified number of parking spaces could be added, and are we exact on what kind of architectural changes and
Yeah.
construction materials? Or is it just, we're voting to allow this to go forward, and you won't have to bring it back to the commission next time, just to the director? I mean, that's kind of how I read it.
That's how I read
If
this,
we
too.
believe it to be a significant departure from what you approved, it has to come back to you for that clarification. What we are gonna use is the drawing or the elevation that he's provided, and if it looks similar to that, we'd approve it. But if it's significant different than that, when we bring it back to you. The parking, the reason he's being a little evasive on the parking, it is in a drainage easement, and
Mhm.
he's going to have to expend significant amount of engineering money as well as costs to try to increase that parking, and that's why he's being a little bit questionable on the parking. There is a big drainage easement along the western boundary of that property they're trying to use for parking.
Okay.
So that's why he didn't give you an exact number of parking spaces.
And it may become a point where it's not even feasible to do.
I was gonna ask you, yeah, so you may
Yeah.
not even do the parking.
Yeah, and currently we meet the required number of parking places for the development if it was fully developed. However, it would just be more convenient for, as we continue to add tenants, to have additional backside parking so that staff are not taking up the premium parking in front of the buildings.
So that the dormers are actually out of compliance with the current?
They are
PUD?
not included in the current PUD, and that's why we're making, or he's making the adjustment to that, to let the dormer or the eyebrow or the roof details be shown, as well as there's some shutters that he's adding to it to add some clarity or, I guess, architectural details.
So really, it's like the buildings across the street, the medical buildings across the street?
Yes.
like those?
Yes, on Professional Circle.
Right.
A lot of them already had some of these features.
do.
It's just we wanted to incorporate them as well.
All right.
Okay. And when I first read it, I just thought that we were kind of just given a blank sheet here to take to the director.
It sounded like a really bad thing.
I mean, instead of having 10 people have to approve it, he's
Yeah.
gonna have
Yeah.
one person approve it, and I thought, well, it doesn't really,
Yeah, as long
Not
as
worded
it's similar,
poorly.
if it's a significant departure, we'd bring it back to you, so.
And I've already been told by the higher ups that we're not coming back for any departures, so.
Okay, read the motion.
That's on, okay. I'll read the draft motion. Get my cheaters on here. In the case of the application for deviation from additions to the PUD for the Commons Office Development submitted by David Rhodes on behalf of the Commons of Yukon LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all attachments cited in the staff reports. I move that this item be recommended for approval to the City Council with the following conditions. Prior to issuance of a building permit for any of the remaining structures, and please strike out "the" on the first line, please.
Okay, B? Okay.
The applicant shall submit information to the Community Development Director that illustrates the proposed architecture and demonstrates the compatibility of said design with the rest of the complex. Said submittal shall include structure height and material palette as well as an elevation drawing. Such review will allow for deviations from the original complex concept, however, if determination cannot be made that any design is consistent aesthetically with the complex as a whole, said design shall be reviewed for denial or approval by the Planning Commission. Number 2, modify the PUD exhibits to include an exhibit referencing the proposed additional parking. This can be accomplished by revising the original Exhibit E, paving, parking, and pedestrian plan, or by adding a note on the original Exhibit E referencing additional parking and adding a legible plan titled Exhibit E1, Additional Parking Area to the PUD. Said revision shall be accomplished prior to this item being forwarded to City Council for review and approval.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion, questions, clarifications? Call the roll, please.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes?
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 5, to hear a request by Scott Wiles, property manager, on behalf of TASYR Enterprise Limited Liability Corporation for a deviation of the plan unit development design statement for Garth Brooks Commercial Park Phase 4. It's a tract of land situated in the southeast quarter of Section 19, Township 12 North, Range 5 west of the Indian Meridian. And its address is 800 Garth Brooks Boulevard. Yes, sir.
Scott Wiles, representing for Taser. Purpose of this was to submit the signage criteria into the PUD amendment to take care of future sign approvals in the process.
So we don't have
So-
to have each sign brought back to us like
We-
we've had on those first two.
So we've effectively done that and are presenting that for your.
And is this with the staff's approval, the language, Mitchell,
You talking about on which one?
on the signage
No, I mean, which?
deviation?
Leela's.
Okay, yes. It is, yes.
Okay. So this is something we asked y'all to do at our last meeting, I believe.
It is. There is a condition on there that the change, and we're certainly not objecting to that. We would like to see that altered just a bit, though, to read, this is condition 1, central pylon sign for Lot 1, also known as Leela's Plaza.
What change do you want on there?
We want to change that. It says sign for Leela's Plaza at this point. We would like to have that read sign for Lot 1, also known as Leela's Plaza.
Under conditions?
Correct.
Do you have an objection to that?
No, it's more specific because it is lot 1 and there's a lot 2 and a 3. That's why you better to clarify it.
Okay.
Are Lot 2 and 3, are they west of Lot 1?
Well, one's south and the other one's west.
Yeah, south and west, that's correct.
All right, gentlemen, do you have any questions on this motion? Care to read it?
Yeah, I get it. In the case of the PUD amendment submitted for Garth Brooks Commercial Park Phase 4, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings. I move that the submitted PUD amendment be approved with the following conditions. Condition 1, change the title of Section A7 of the amendment to Central Pylon Sign for Lot 1, also known as Leela's Plaza.
That's satisfactory with
That
you?
is, sir.
We have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Is the RBC sign up yet?
The wall sign is.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 6, to hear a request from LG Yukon Limited Liability Corporation, Martha Ann Shuttle, to rezone from C4 Planned Shopping Center District to C3 Restricted Commercial District. This is a rezoning, also known as 1221 Garth Brooks Boulevard. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Byron Waddy with Vasquez Engineering on behalf of Leon, our LG Yukon. And basically what we're trying to do here is, there are two parcels in that tract. One was zoned C3, one's C4, the open area that's just north of Taco Mayo, just south of the Chinese restaurant. That's all going to become one lot. And we needed to clean that up, and we're asked by staff to rezone that all to C3.
To C3,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yes, we did ask the applicant on this. There's a strip there that used to be Old Andrew Drive that actually had a C4 designation on it. So we asked them to go ahead and rezone it to C3 to clarify that and clean that up. So we didn't have a little strip in there that might be a problem, so.
So the whole thing will be C3.
That is correct. The whole tract that they have control over will be C3. That's been shown in the preliminary plat in its rezoning request.
All right.
Questions? Care to read the draft motion?
I'll do it.
Okay.
In the case of the application for rezoning submitted on behalf of LG Yukon LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all plans and attachments cited in the staff reports. We also find ourselves in agreement with the recommendation of approving the driveway separation that results from the development of this site. I move that this item be recommended for approval to the City Council with the following conditions. 1, replace the existing 2 drives with one 26-foot wide driveway centered on the site. The new drive shall accommodate 1 line ingress and 1 lane egress. The site plan should be revised to reflect the single driveway prior to the item moving to council. Install 2 trees on site in compliance with specific requirements, section 18-5B1 of the codified ordinances. Number 3, comply with section 18.33 of the Code of Ordinances, Building Code, as outlined in item 6 of this report. Number 4, process all appropriate revocable permits for any proposed encroachments into utility easements by landscaping, lighting, parking, etc. Said permit shall be required prior to issuances of final certificates of occupancy. Number 5, all new signage shall be required to comply with the requirements of Chapter 94 of the Code of Ordinances.
Are you familiar with all these conditions, sir? Okay. We have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Questions?
On number 1, line 2, can we make that 1 lane
Yeah,
and 1 lane egress?
Yeah, so 1 line.
just a
Right.
typo. Okay, call the roll, please.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
And item 7 is to hear a request from LG Yukon LLC, Martha Ann Schultz, for a preliminary plat on the same piece of ground at 1221 Garth Brooks Boulevard. This was requested by staff also, correct? Mitchell?
That is correct. We required them, because of it being a street easement, we wanted them to go ahead and include it in one legal. So we're requesting that as well. There's an easement, there's 2 easements in it, needs to be required, so yes, so it's the easiest way to do that. So they will be bringing a final plat later on as well, the final plat that piece.
Okay. Would you like to read this one, Ed?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what type of, are we gonna put in a retail area in this? You make it 1 lot, I know that, and then
Right.
change it to the 1. You like that, so is this gonna be 1 larger building, like a group of stores, or just 1?
No, it's
One
one
lot.
store.
Okay.
It's a Verizon store, so
Yeah.
it's,
Okay. All right. I'll read it. In the case of the preliminary plat application for LG Yukon LLC, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all plans and attachments cited in the staff report. I move that this item be recommended for approval to the City Council with the following additional conditions. Condition 1, extend the existing 15-foot utility easement along the east property line to the new south property line. Number 2, revise the plat to reflect a single driveway as described in item number 7 of this report. Number 3, revise the plat to show a limit of 1 access across the frontage. Number 4, Note the proposed sizes of water and sanitary sewer connections. Number 5, sidewalks shall be installed along the west side of the property where it abuts Garth Brooks Boulevard in compliance with the ADA requirements. Said sidewalks shall be 5 feet in width. Number 6, execute all plat notation corrections found in items 11 and 12 of this report. Number 7, a 15-foot utility easement shall be provided within vacated Andrew Drive and noted on the plat. Number 8, a 15-foot wide utility easement must be provided for the existing water line and noted on the plat. Number 9, the applicant shall comply with all requirements described by the city engineer in item number 15 of this report with regard to a fee in lieu of detention. That's the water detention. So, all right, number 10, submit a revised preliminary plat to the Community Development Director 2 weeks prior to the desired city council hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Further questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Chairman Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatley?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Look forward to having you in our city.
And a nicer building.
Any old business?
No, no new business.
No new business.
No
No
new
new
business?
Staff have anything? You have anything, Mark?
I do not.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney?
Nothing, thank you.
Gentlemen, you have anything you need to say?
Tonight.
Not tonight.
Hope tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, the city of Yukon is holding an election to have an election. We have to clear up some code of ordinance to comply with the new state rules, so we're having an election to have an election. So we hope you'll take time to go vote. And also on Wednesday is Veterans Day. If you know a veteran or see a veteran, you stop and thank them. Buy them a cup of coffee or something. Let them know you appreciate their service and their time away from their families. And with that, I call this meeting adjourned.